All right, we're live. Welcome to the X-Cast, Season 11, Episode 6, Kitten. We usually do these right after the X-Files, but I was a bit under the weather. Feeling a bit better now, and I figured, you know what, let's go ahead and discuss it before we get too far into the episodes, upcoming episodes, because they're taking a 3-week break. They'll be back on the 28th of February at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 Central. They're taking the break because of the Winter Olympics that's going on. But yeah, so let's talk about this episode. And this is a solo Skinner episode. This is a standalone episode, and with Skinner being the main focus of this episode, which I thought this was a good episode. Not as good as last week's episode. It was more subdued. And I kind of figured that we needed one that was subdued because the last week was just freaking amazing. The whole William episode. You can look back and our thoughts and comments on last week's episode. But this week episode, if I had to rate it, I say a 6 or a 7.
Well, I'm going to say about a 7. It was pretty good. I mean, I have to agree, it wasn't as good as Ghoulie or Lost Heart or Forehead Sweat, but the good thing is it's continuing the trend of really good episodes.
Yeah,
that they started with +1.
Talking about,
right?
It keeps going. Thank you. Thank God the momentum keeps going. But
I really enjoyed it. It really started with +1, then it went into Lost Art of Forehead Sweat, then Ghoulie, and finally Kitten. Yeah, this was a tremendous episode. It was great to see, like, at the opening, we see, like, a flashback, and it's flashing back to Vietnam. We see Walter Skinner. He served in Nam. He had a friend, John James, a.k.a. Kitten.
Played by Haley Joel
Osment, yes.
Which, man, he blew up like a freaking balloon. He's gotten old. He didn't even look. He was used. I remember him in Sixth Sense as the kid in Sixth Sense. And man, he's another kid that changed a lot was Jonathan Lipnicki. Going off topic a little bit, but he changed a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode was good. Like you said, it starts in the jungle of Vietnam, and they have this box. We don't know what's in this box. They have to guard this box. And this box plays an important role in this episode. And we see Kitten and Skinner, which I thought the guy that played the young version of Skinner was freaking spot on. I mean, if Mitch Pileggi was 18 at the time, I would kind of picture that kid to be Mitch Pileggi, a young Mitch Pileggi.
I agree.
So, great. Props to whoever cast the kid.
It was tremendous. It was a tremendous casting. I don't know. I don't know who the actor was that played young Skinner, but my goodness, he was.
Let's see here. Young Skinner was Corey Rempel, Rempel, Corey Rempel.
Well, he did that. He must have studied. He must have studied, like, videos and of Mitch Pileggi and his acting style.
Yeah, because he was spot on, fantastic. But
that's what actors will do. That sometimes if an actor is playing a younger version of an older actor, a lot of the time they will study videos of that actor.
Yeah, he must
to kind of get their mannerisms down and things like that. Yeah.
And Haley Joel Osment actually played 2 characters. He played Kitten. He played his son Davey. So he did 2 roles.
Yeah.
Which
he did double duty on
he did some great work in this episode. But in that box, we found out after a shootout with the Vietnam people and there's this gas in this box that makes you see things, makes you hallucinate. And I was
Mm-hmm.
telling Henry that if you guys are comic book fans, Batman has this enemy, this villain called Scarecrow. He has this fear toxin, this fear gas, and he injects you with the fear gas and makes you see things that you actually fear. So if you have a
Mm-hmm.
fear of bats, you see that. With that gas reminded me of that fear gas the Scarecrow had. Very,
Very,
very
very
much
similar.
similar.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, it would make people see a monster. You know,
Mm-hmm.
now the monster in question, the monster that they depicted, reminded me a lot of descriptions of the Native American Wendigo, the Algonquin legend, which is a creature which is supposed to shapeshift from human to this creature which looks like it has a deer head, has antlers,
Mm-hmm.
and looks very strange. And supposedly is a cannibal. It eats human flesh. But that's what it reminded me of, the depiction of the monster that people were hallucinating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Kitten himself, John, was also hallucinating this. I didn't think that the gas hit Skinner all that hard, but we found out later on in the episode, you know, that it did, or that he was affected by it in some way. And the reason we found out is because we heard that there were individuals that were losing their teeth. And these were people that came back from Vietnam and had been exposed to this gas.
Yeah.
So, so it started out with there was a hunter who was out in the woods, and he falls into this pit which has these punji sticks in it, which is a booby trap.
Yeah, the booby trap
And the punji
pit, which
sticks
was with
six
bamboo sticking out of it, which is like, very reminiscent of the whole Vietnam jungles where they usually, trap people and
right.
kill them. And we see the dude get his ear cut off too, and that plays into Kitten's Davy's father's past, where he usually cut the ears off of the enemy and put it around his neck as a trophy.
Right. Yeah. Well, then that was something that some Vietnam soldiers would do. They would they would take a grisly trophy. They would cut ears off the Viet Cong
Mm-hmm.
and have their ears as necklaces. So it's not unheard of for a Vietnam soldier to do that, a U.S. soldier to do that.
Yeah, and
Not unusual at
I
all.
like the history aspect of it. It's very historical accurate about Vietnam and them cutting the ear off, which is, me being a history
Mm-hmm.
buff, props to that.
Now, the one thing we see this what appears to be some kind of strange creature running back and forth, kind of freaking out the hunter before he falls into the pit. And then eventually that night, we see Skinner find the hunter in the pit, and it turns out there's a game cam there.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets footage of Skinner. It doesn't get footage of this weird whatever it was, but we see Skinner standing over the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And the sheriff immediately gets suspicious of Skinner and says that maybe he's the one that's responsible for the death of this hunter. And then there was also, remember the old fellow that was sitting on the bench outside. He was also a Vietnam veteran.
Mhm.
And he mentioned something that kind of stuck with Mulder and Scully. I'm trying to think. I think they went to the town. They went to that town. Didn't they go after they
Yeah,
went to
they went to what
Skinner's
they
apartment?
did was they after oh, speaking of Breaking not Breaking Bad, but Easter eggs, X-Files Easter egg. X-File fans can remember Alvin Kerr. She's the basically the head FBI director of the FBI. He made a
Right. He
he's
was.
back,
Yeah.
for the first time since The Truth, which was the season finale of the X-Files back in 2001, I believe. And he made a cameo back and instructing Mulder and Scully to find out where's Skinner, because Skinner at this point went AWOL. So he's AWOL.
Mm-hmm.
He's away. He's somewhere. Don't know where. So they have to find him. Then
Yeah.
they go to Skinner's apartment. They find the ear that was mailed to Skinner, and they went straight to Mudlick. I think it was Mudlick. Is some guy
Mudlick.
Mudlick?
Mudlick,
Mudlick,
which I believe
Kentucky.
that is Kentucky. Yes.
In Kentucky, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And that's where they yeah. Well, let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh, it was because of the newspaper that the ear was wrapped in.
Yeah.
That's how they found out about Mudlick, because there was no return address on the package. So it was because of the newspaper that the ear was wrapped in that they found out it was Mudlick, Kentucky, and that's where they went.
And then I like the whole the index card that Scully held up and said, "The monsters are here," or a monster.
Oh
Here.
yeah,
Which is great. Does that get your juices flowing, Mulder? Yeah, that's great.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was great when she asked him that. Yeah, that was tremendous. And of course they were setting up. Of course they wanted to know more about this. They wanted to find. No way. I think somehow they did get the Wendigo type creature was on video. Was on
I think
the
it
game.
was. I wouldn't be
because Scully asked Mulder, "You don't think that's a real monster, do you?" And Mulder said, "No, I think it's probably a person in a suit."
Yeah. That's great. I think that was a great line by Mulder, because he's the guy that believes these things, and him saying no, it's the person in a suit, which is fantastic. You think that would be coming from Scully, but not Mulder.
I know, yeah, that was tremendous. So finally, we see Skinner. He finds the cat. He finds the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Which his old friend John lived in, and he's got like animals in cages outside.
Yeah. Oh, and we find out who Kitten is, and Kitten is the nickname of John.
Right, because he liked kittens and he would paint them.
Mm-hmm.
He had a few paintings of kittens. And then his son hated cats. Davy hated cats. So Skinner goes inside the trailer, and Davy comes in, and Skinner first calls him John because he looks like John.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "No, I'm Davy. I'm his." And I think Skinner figured out you must be his son.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and we know that Davy knows who Skinner is, because he at this point, Davy blames Skinner for what happened to his father, because he had to testify about what happened in Vietnam, and he didn't mention anything about the gas. And Skinner was trying to explain to Davy that he was doing it to protect his father, because if he would have mentioned anything, they would have been after his father. They would have been after all of us.
Yeah. I believe, Skinner was looking at the photo album
Mm-hmm.
and had the photos of he and Kitten and their squad.
Yeah.
In Vietnam. So, but let's see. I think Mulder and Scully they were kind of putting the clues together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Mulder and Scully
And
they meet with Davy, and Davy
mhm,
feeds him a whole bunch of bull that he doesn't know who Skinner is and all that nonsense. But Mulder knows better because he sees the photo of Skinner and his father in the scrapbook,
mhm,
and they take off. They find Skinner, who's in the pit that he fell into with a stake, and they rescue Skinner. And Scully shoots Davy, and then out of nowhere, Davy just freaking disappears. He's gone. He's gone. We don't know where he's at.
yeah. I mean, where did he go? Yeah.
And then Mulder sees the costume that he was right about, the guy in the costume, because it was
Mhm,
apparently Davy in the monster costume going out and scaring
mhm,
the people who I think he was trying to kill the people that had to do with his father. Because, I mean, the first guy that we found out that he was in the same rank and file as Skinner was, and he was probably
mhm.
with there with his Kitten. So I think he was trying to, avenge his father's death and kill the people that hurt his father and made his father what made his father the monster that he became. I guess
Now his
you
father
could
had
say
been
that.
in a mental facility,
Yeah.
for like 30 something years. He supposedly finally got out. Now, the guy in the Marine uniform, that must have been John. That must have been Kitten.
Yeah.
Because he had him hanging up in a tree, and then he puts him down in the pit with Skinner.
Hmm.
So, but Skinner had that punji stick. It was sticking through his. Ooh, man!
Yeah, that was brutal. But
And,
Davey got
and
the worst
somehow
of it.
he was able to extract himself from that
I think he
punji
broke it
stick.
off. I don't think we actually. I can't
Probably
remember if
did.
we saw. I think he probably just broke it off. But Davey got the worst death of them all. He fell right into his
Oh
booby
yeah.
trap, and the whole thing just came
His own
collapsing.
boob.
And just,
Oh man.
man, that was just freaking brutal. But
Hey.
this episode was more about Skinner. It was a departure from the whole William angle. Now maybe this could tie in. Maybe this could place a hint to see where Skinner is at. Is he still going to work with the Smoking Man, or is he going to be on Mulder and Scully's side now? Because since the first episode, we don't know where Skinner lies. We don't know if he's going to be helping the Smoking Man, or if he's just going to use the Smoking Man, or if he's going to help Mulder and Scully, or if he's going to turn his back against Mulder and Scully.
Yeah. One line that I really liked that Mulder said was, I don't smell any cigarette smoke when
Yeah,
they were in Skinner's apartment.
yeah. I'll be looking for
So,
cigarette butts, I think he said.
oh no, yeah, that's what he said. I'll be looking for. Don't look for cigarette. He said, look for cigarette butts. That's
Yeah,
what he said. Yeah. Which that was pretty interesting because we knew that was reference to the cigarette smoking man. No question about that. That was definitely
yeah.
a reference to him.
And
But
I think, go
there
ahead.
was a brief mention of William when they were getting into Skinner's apartment. Scully made a brief mention of William, very brief.
Yeah. Yeah, so William is still on Mulder and Scully's minds because of after
Yes.
last week's episode where she actually saw and talked to William without even knowing it, which I love that so much. It was so freaking awesome. like I said, go back and watch what we have to say about episode 5. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so this is a good episode. Like I said, it was a departure from the central storyline about William, but it was to be expected. I think it was very, very well needed because of after, like I said, last week's episode of how great it was of introducing William to us and to the audience. We need we needed a cool down episode so we can cool us down, and we got three.
It was a nice bit of, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Continuity. To mention William, if only briefly, it was a nice bit of continuity.
Yeah.
So to mention William briefly, and then basically, Skinner said, "I'm with you." No, they said they were with him because he wants to do right by John. He wants to do right by Kitten.
Yeah. So that's, I think maybe this could be like, a subtle hint of what's to come, of what Skinner is going to truly do. Is if they're with them and they're all in this together, Skinner might turn his back on the Smoking Man and screw him over somehow.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you notice at the end, I mean, they actually had another box, and they were.
Yeah,
I think it was probably the same stuff.
I love the ending because the ending, they show the exact same gas, and they're flying over crops, and they're spraying the crops with it, and they're spraying the sky with the chemtrails. Which
the chemtrails, because remember Davey mentioned it. You know, he said that they are, this is how they're controlling people. They're flying over, and they're putting it in the crop dusters and things like that, and the chemtrails. That has been a popular that has been a popular meme, you might say, for conspiracy theorists for years. Is the whole chemtrail thing?
Yeah, I'm a huge conspiracy theorist, and the whole chemtrail thing. I've been reading into that. I think there's some possibility there. There's some possibility there. I mean, we don't know what they're spraying in the sky. We don't know that.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. When our pecan crop is just about dead this year. Usually we have a pretty good crop of pecans that fall out of these trees. But the crop dusters have been getting too close to our house. And I think they've been accidentally spraying our trees, and then they've killed off our pecans. We just haven't had any this year. We've hardly had any. So
yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows, really? Because you don't know what's in those. They say they see the cloud seeding. You don't know what's in those chemicals. No one does. Well, someone does, but not the average American.
Yeah. I think we can pretty much establish that somebody knows what's in that stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's fields over this way, off to the west here, and the crop dusters usually fly over in that direction. But it's going to be time again soon for them to start spraying again too. Probably when it starts getting warmer, they're going to start spraying again. They're going to start flying over again. But yeah, this was a pretty good episode. It was, like I say, nice, as you mentioned, nice break from from what we had with the Williams storyline. And I really liked this episode. I wasn't as you mentioned it wasn't as strong as the the last episode, which was Ghoulie, which was just tremendous.
Yeah.
It finally introduced William. We finally get to see William. But I mean, this was a well done episode. It was written by Gabe Roder and directed by Carol Parker. But Darren Morgan and Glenn Wong were consulting producers also on this
Oh
one.
wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're the people that wrote this episode and directed the episode are, I think, probably newbies because I've never heard of those names before.
Yeah, but they did pretty well for their first outing. I have to say, they did pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a first outing, yeah. And to cast Haley Joel Osment in 2 roles was very interesting as well.
Mm-hmm.
First playing the father, then playing his son. So yeah, I would definitely. Right. I would say this is about a 7.5 out of 10. That's just my personal opinion. It was really good episode.
At least a 7, 6 to 7.
7.5. Yeah,
it was still strong. Yeah,
very strong episode. Yeah.
We're not that far apart on the rating scale.
Right. Yeah. I enjoyed the episode,
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
And I can't wait until after the break, and because we saw a preview for the next episode. There's not a name listed. I don't see. Maybe you found a name or something. But apparently Mulder and Scully is going to get ambushed by some robots and some drones.
Oh my. Well, there's 4 more episodes to go, and I imagine they'll be airing through the month of March. So there's 4 episodes to go. So they'll start February 28th, and the season finale will be March 21st.
Let's see here. The 21st of March. So yeah, middle March.
Yep. 21st of March. That's right. 5 days before my birthday.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yeah. It'll be 5 days before my birthday. So it'll be a nice early birthday present, the season finale of the X-Files. And, I hope that I'm sure they're going to revisit the William.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to revisit.
I looked at a I looked at a preview for the second half of the episodes. I guess you can say this is the second break. And Chris Carter said there's going to be a big revelation about William at the season finale. A big revelation. Ooh. So William's got to come back into play somehow. So.
Oh yes.
So I cannot give a prediction of how he's going to come back, because
I can't either.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
With The Walking Dead, it's pretty easy because you know where they have to go or how they're going to get there. But with the X-Files, it's like, okay, you think they're going there, but they're going to take this other route to get there, and that other route has a couple of curveballs coming through just to get to the final outcome.
Well, that's like what Vince Gilligan did with Breaking Bad and what he does with Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
He likes to throw a lot of curveballs sometimes. It's like we think something's going to happen, and then, at the last second, he it's like a swerve, as they call it in pro wrestling. He swerves us.
And I love swerves. I love
I do
swerves,
too.
And I love them because it's like, you think you're going to do it, but they do something else. And I like it. Now, I love a swerve. I love a good swerve if it makes sense. It's got to make sense. But,
there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
now, when I say swerves, I don't mean modern day swerves in pro wrestling. I mean the classic swerves.
Yeah. Not
the modern day wrestling.
Russo.
Well, no, even before Vince Russo. I mean, we're talking about some of the other stuff that they did in pro wrestling. Some of the other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the final 4 episodes.
Yeah,
the final 4, I love that.
And I hope I hope they do a season 12 of the X-Files. But there's, talks that Gillian Anderson is not going to be back after this season.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Hopefully maybe she might change her mind. And come back for another season, or not do another season at all. Just do a final movie to tie everything up. I think that'd be better instead of doing another season. Just do one final movie with everybody in it and tie everything up. Tie everything up about William. Tie everything up. Yeah.
Because I've not seen I Want to Believe. I've seen a little bit of Fight the Future, which was the first movie.
I Want to Believe. It's alright. It's alright. I'm not a big fan of it personally. It's not that good. I think it's more of a Monster of the Week episode, a long drawn out Monster of the Week episode. You can watch it, and your judgment might be different from my judgment, but I wasn't a big fan of it.
Well, from what I saw of Fight the Future, it looked good. It looked really good.
Fight for the Future is fantastic. Fight the Future, I think.
Fight the Future. That's the name of it. Yeah,
that was
the first X-Files movie.
Yeah, that was a good one. But see, the thing is that you have to watch that film, the first film, before you can start season 6, because season 6 picks right up from the film.
Yep.
But for some reason Netflix took the X-Files off. Now it's on Hulu.
Oh man.
Yeah, now it's on Hulu. So if you know someone that has a Hulu account, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to log into their Hulu account and watch the X-Files.
Well, I do have season 10 though on DVD. I've got season 10.
You gonna get season 11 when it comes out?
I already have season 10.
No, season 11.
Yeah, season 11. Yeah, that's gonna be the. But yeah, I mean, yeah. See, of course, the way that I got to see the last episode was they actually put it on the X-Files, the Fox website. A few hours after it aired, so that's how I got to see it.
Yeah, they always put it up on the website. But I got a question. You said you have season 10. Do they have like commentary?
I haven't watched it. I'm sure they do have commentary on it though.
You gotta watch the commentary for the Were Monster episode.
Oh yeah, I hope there's commentary on that one, because I think I've expressed. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. I've got the DVD right here. I just saw it. Here it is. I can avoid knocking all my other DVDs over. Let's see here. Audio commentary on select episodes, but it doesn't say which ones. So one of them may be Mulder and Scully Meet the Were Monster.
Oh, you gotta watch that. You gotta watch. That's your homework. If they have, they might have the packaging slip that says which episode commentary on it.
I just thought about that. Okay, audio commentary on Founders Mutation. Audio commentary on Mulder and Scully Meet the Were Monster. Yes, with David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, Humail, I think it's Johnny, and Darren Morgan. So yes, there is audio commentary. Yeah, on Mulder and Scully Meet the Were Monster.
So that's your homework for the weekend. Watch that and report back to me when in 3 weeks when we discuss the episode 7.
So you want me to watch Mulder and Scully Meet the Were Monster with the audio commentary?
Yeah, because you probably can drop some interesting fun facts about that episode.
Yeah, because that's, as I've said it, multiple times, and it bears repeating. It's my favorite episode of season 10.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good one. I love that one. I think it was a favorite of mine too. But I think that's going to do it for us tonight. It's a short episode, short
Yeah.
Xcast tonight. Usually what we do is watch videos on YouTube of monsters and ghosts and everything. I'm not going to do that tonight because there wasn't that much of a monster in this episode. It was a guy in a costume. So hopefully next we won't be back until the 28th. The 28th.
Mm-hmm.
And
yep.
I don't have a listing of what the title is going to be. But apparently, maybe that's going to be the one with the drones following them.
And then 2 weeks from tomorrow is the return of The Walking Dead, and 3 weeks from tonight we'll be returning with the Webcasting Dead.
Exactly. So we got 3 good shows coming up. Friday nights is our political show, so if you're in political people, watch it. If not, oh well. Anyway, we got a couple shows. So the third. 3 weeks from tonight is the Webcasting Dead.
Tonight.
Yeah, yep. Webcasting Dead. The Walking Dead's coming back on the 25th.
Yep.
And then the 28th is the X-Files. We'll be live right after the X-Files on that.
Yes, we will.
Live right after the X-Files. So Walking Dead, let's talk a little bit about The Walking Dead before we go off. So they we found out last week that they basically fired Scott Gimple as showrunner and replaced him with Angela Kang for season 9, going forward to season 9. It's going to be quite interesting to see how she's going to salvage of what he did in season 8, which was kill off Carl, a main player, if you will, in that the whole series of The Walking Dead. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how she's going to do things her way.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it will be interesting to see how she runs it. You know, because I mean, Gimple got a lot of blame. He got a lot of flack for.
Yeah, he did
for the whole Carl debacle. Yeah, he got a lot of flack for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Carl is gone. Unless now maybe she might make it like, you know, that whole last thing was just a dream sequence and Carl isn't really gone. But I don't know how she's going to salvage it.
That would be kind of a cheat, and I don't think Walking Dead would do something like that to their audience.
Yeah, kind of a cop out. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
They've done it before with the whole season 6 finale. You know, that whole finale messed up, which was Scott Gimple's fault for that. So, and he's been show running since season 2, season 3?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Because it was Frank Dermott.
And
and
Darabont. Frank Darabont. Yeah. He was
booted.
Yeah. Yeah, Frank Darabont was executive producer on the show. You know, he directed.
And then AMC booted him.
Yeah.
And then they had someone else fill in for him for season 2. And then they had Gimple, I think, for season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Gimple's been showrunner since season 3. So, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, for 6 years, he was showrunner.
Mm-hmm. You know, what's hard to believe is that, you know, The Walking Dead has been around for almost 8 years. I mean, it'll be 8 years in October.
Yeah.
And this is the 8th season that we're in. So.
Mm-hmm. You think The Walking Dead should finish up their storyline pretty soon? Because, you know how TV shows, you know, if they get long and drawn out, it's going to be, you know, boring and repetitive, and they can't get any fresh material there.
Mm-hmm. from what I saw, that there's a possibility that yeah, the ending of The Walking Dead is a long way off from what I've seen.
Oh wow.
You know, I personally think that's a mistake to keep it.
Yeah.
If they're going to keep it going, it's going to get boring. It happens with all shows that run long.
Mm-hmm.
People who have short attention spans. If
Yeah.
I mean, one of the most popular shows on AMC, probably the most popular show,
Mm-hmm.
but around for 20 more years.
Yeah.
I can personally tell you, I'm not going to stick around for 20 more years.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I like Negan, and apparently, from what I understand, I read in the article where they were replacing Angela Kang. They said that the whole war is going to be concluded at the end of this season. So the whole Negan war is going to be concluded, and they're going to have season 9. They apparently for season 9 they're going to do a time flash forward, probably a year or so. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go from there after the whole Negan war is over, and then going forward from there, and without Carl. And are they going to add new characters or what? But yeah, The Walking Dead.
There have been some fans that have said, I'm done with the show because of Carl being, killed off.
Yeah, and we'll probably see that with the ratings when that comes in with the premiere of the 20.
Yeah, some fans are like, I'm done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just imagine if they kill off Daryl. Oh, geez. At some point, they kill off Daryl. You'd have all the Daryl fangirls, I'm done with this show.
Yeah, I mean, here. Yeah, so you got the and not only that, we've seen the ratings for The Walking Dead this season, and it's a little bit. And after the whole Carl debacle, or the Carl Gate, or whatever you want to call it, it's going to be interesting to see how the ratings go from there. And I think they need to wrap it up at season 10. I think season 10 should be the final season of The Walking Dead, because
I just don't understand. Why do they want to keep the show going? I mean, a show like Gunsmoke, which was an iconic series, it was an iconic Western series. It ran for like 20 years. I'm sure people started getting tired of the same thing every week.
Yeah. Well, plus, at the time, Gunsmoke, that was a whole different television era.
Yeah.
So now
The Simpsons is still going. I gave up on the Simpsons a long. Yeah.
Simpsons.
The early seasons of The Simpsons. Oh my lord, great stuff, hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, The Simpsons should have ended at least at season 11, 12. That's when they should have ended, because right when it gets to around the 20 mark, that's when it's like, oh, seriously. But but you see, TV is it's in a different time now. There's so much going on in TV that people can't keep up with it all, and they're having to. You have Netflix, that's being the new age of television. They got all the Netflix originals. You got Hulu. You got all these different alternatives to TV now. But The Walking Dead, it does not need to be like a live action version of The Simpsons that goes on for 30 seasons and 600 episodes.
I mean, the movie was good. The Simpsons movie. I like the Simpsons movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, but
That's
yeah.
like
So
Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad. They told so much story in 5 seasons. It
yeah,
only took them 5 seasons to tell all that story.
yeah.
It was amazing the way they did it.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I love to see shows more like, take a page out of the Breaking Bad playbook. And it doesn't have to be, word for word or anything, but, you know, set a story up, figure out how many seasons you think it should tell the story, and end it up like
Mm-hmm.
that. And then if you want to do like they're doing, do a prequel to, expand the story a little bit, but
Yep.
not enough to water it down because you have prequels that it gets you have the prequels, some prequels that is so watered down that it's like
Mm-hmm.
it didn't need to have a prequel. But I think Vince Gilligan and company did a fantastic thing because we've never seen. I mean, the whole prequel to a TV series is fairly new and fairly original because this has never been done before. I mean, you've never, I mean, yeah, for prequels for movies, yeah, but for a TV show, I think Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul was the first to do that.
I think so. And, I mean, Better Call Saul. They've had 3 seasons, and they've managed to have a coherent
Mm-hmm.
storyline. It doesn't feel like just a cheap, prequel or cheap knockoff. I mean, this is really high quality. Vince Gilligan's got his hand in it. Peter
Mm-hmm.
Gould has his hand in it.
Yeah.
They want this to be they want this to be a good show. They
Yeah.
want this to be a quality show. They don't want just a crappy, knockoff or a crappy
They just don't want to do it for, money. And,
exactly. I mean, and then they're doing a tremendous job with Better Call Saul. They're about to
mhm.
start the 4th season. It won't start till September.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I hate is we got to wait all that time for the next season.
Yeah, I know, September. And because they're just now filming it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be quite interesting to see where they go with Better Call Saul. Again, I like Michael McKean. Don't agree with his politics, but he did fantastic as Chuck. I hope we see some flashbacks of Chuck.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and Better Call Saul, it's not going to be on. It's not going to be on for 20 seasons.
Yeah,
There's
I
only
don't
so
see
much
that. I
story.
see probably
There's only
at,
there's only so much story they can tell with that.
yeah, with Better Call Saul. I say probably season 5. They can probably wrap everything up.
Yeah, and I think the perfect way to end it would be where Walter walks into Saul's office.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be a great way to end it.
We see Bryan Cranston.
That would be a great way to end it, or at least have season 5 to open up with Walter going in to Saul's office, and then have season 5
Mhm.
be the starting point of the whole Breaking Bad collision course, merging with the Better Call Saul. So
That would be interesting. That
yeah.
would be very
And
interesting.
then we got and Gene again with Gene. We have to see what happens with Gene.
Yes, we do.
My theory, and I'll share this with Ellen, but I'll give you guys a preview. My theory is that Gene, he's sort of a depressing guy. He does. It feels like he doesn't want to be in Nebraska. It feels like he doesn't want to work at the Cinnamon Bun. He's so depressed. I mean, everything in his world is black and white. I got a feeling that, or my theory, is that Gene may commit suicide, just like Chuck did, but not like a house fire or anything. But maybe maybe we see like a flash of a gun or something that Gene has stashed away somewhere, and then
Mhm.
it's got to the point that Gene doesn't want to live anymore, and he just commits suicide, and that's the end of Gene. Tragic ending to a tragic life.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but I love the fact that they have had, at the start of every season,
Hmm.
we've had the flash forward,
Yeah.
and it's in black and white. It's Gene, working at the Cinnabon. Then he collapses at the beginning of last season. Now, what is going to come of that? What's going to happen with that? That's going to be very interesting when they bring, because we know they're going to start season 4 with that. We
Yeah, I
know
hope
that
they do. I
already.
hope they do the tradition of opening with Gene.
I
The
like it.
last
I
time
mean,
we see Gene, it was he fainted. He fainted.
that really added so much to the Saul Goodman story.
Hmm.
Was the
And you
segments
know
with
what?
Gene?
I hope we see like an entire Gene episode shot in black and white. The whole episode's just
Yeah,
black and white with Gene.
that would be good. Just kind of deviating from the established storyline.
Hmm.
That I would enjoy that. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having an episode like that. I really wouldn't. I mean, and Bob Odenkirk can just work his magic
Yeah.
because he's freaking brilliant.
He is. But yeah.
Oh, and there's new movies that are coming out. Denai Guerrera, Michonne from Walking Dead, she's going to be in the new Black Panther movie. She's also going to be in the Avengers:
Oh
Infinity
wow.
War,
Cool. That's neat.
and also Jeffrey Dean Morgan is going to be in Rampage with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Oh, and Dean Norris, he's going to be in that new Death Wish movie with Bruce Willis.
Oh, sweet.
The reboot of Death Wish, or the remake, I should say.
Hmm.
So yeah, Dean Norris is in that. So of course, we have Jonathan Banks in the new Liam Neeson movie, and Bob Odenkirk in The Post.
Hmm.
So several of the actors from some of our favorite shows are in movies too.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing that. They're going from the small screen to the big screen, and man, it's just wild seeing that transition.
Well, Jonathan Banks, he's been in several movies. He was in
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop, so
Hmm.
he's been in several movies. So yeah, good stuff. I mean, just
Yeah. So I think that's going to do it for here tonight.
yep.
And again, great X Files episode. If I had the recap, great episode. Rated 6 or 7. I cannot wait until the second half of this season to start in on the 28th. Apparently, they're going to be Mulder and Scully is going to be tracked and followed by some drones, and that's going to be wild. It is going to be wild. I think that's going to be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You here in 3 weeks, the 28th, as we discuss the X Files right after the X Files. Would be during the X Cast. And then on the 3rd is going to be the Webcasting Dead, where we discuss the mid season premiere of the Walking Dead. And has there been a title released for that yet?
I haven't seen one.
Let me check that out real quick. They should be releasing a trailer for the second half of season 8 soon.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The premiere episode is going to be called Honor.
Honor. Ah,
Honor, yep.
that should be an interesting title.
And then the episode after Honor is going to be called The Lost and the Plunderers.
Hmm. Interesting. Yes, that's going to be good.
And it's going to be Honor is going to be directed by Greg Nicotero.
Ah, yeah. He always the ones he directs are always really good.
Yeah,
Really
I
well
love
done.
the ones he directs. He does some amazing work. I would love to see him be. They should have had Greg Nicotero as showrunner for season 9. I think he would have been an excellent showrunner.
Mm-hmm. I agree. He would do a great job.
Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, we'll end it right here. We're again to recap. The 25th is going to be the mid-season premiere of The Walking Dead. Honor. And we'll discuss that on the Webcasting Dead that Saturday, March the 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then February 28th is going to be the, I guess, mid-season premiere of The X-Files with episode 7 of season 11. And we'll be live right after that episode to give you the discussion, our thoughts and comments on that episode of that night. So we'll see you here in 3 weeks. Good night, everybody.